I was asked the number one mistake that I've ever made, and I instantly thought of that time my waiter said, "Enjoy your food," and I said back, "You too." But then I realized you probably meant when it came to streaming, and as I started thinking, I realized I've made a lot of mistakes, and I ended up with over 20 mistakes pretty damn quickly. But for the sake of time today, I have narrowed them down to what I think are the 7 most common. Every streamer has probably made these, and even scarier, I realized that more than half of these tips can stop you from having any kind of steady and effective long-term growth as a content creator. Hey, I'm LJ, and here are my 7 common mistakes, and don't worry, I'll also say how to avoid them that you need to know as a small streamer starting out in 2023. I've ranked these mistakes from not so bad to growth ending, so if you aren't growing the way you want, then that final mistake is what you need to hear, or might be. So stay tuned for that, and I also have a challenge for you guys. That's right, specifically you watching this, Greg. I want you to comment a mistake that you see all the time, so we can all learn from each other and scroll through this big index of mistakes we've made. And while you're down there, I've actually got 2 special gifts for you. The first are time codes, so you can skip ahead to whatever part of this video you want. And the second is a link to our sponsor, Own.tv. You guys know about Own by now, but just to be safe, if you don't, they are a fantastic resource for any streamer, whether you're on Twitch or on YouTube. And I want to highlight some of my favorite packs that they've got on screen right now. Own have both animated overlays, alerts, and more for your stream, but they also have so much more, such as emotes, sub badges, music, you name it. They have got it over on their website. It is one of the best places for a streamer to check out. We have a link in the description, so if you go click that and check out what they've got, you might find your new stream overlay pack. A massive thank you to Own for supporting this channel as well. So if you want to support me, go support them with the link in the description. It really helps us out. Let's get into this and start with the most common mistake. I see people daily asking for that secret sauce, that one tip to make you blow up. And boys, girls, that's right. Today I'm going to reveal it. If you want to be a successful content creator of any kind, then you have to make good, consistent, quality content. Seriously though, there is really no one-size-fits-all growth method, no secret that you need to hear about, and there is certainly no growth method for Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok that will magically make you successful overnight. But I still see people asking daily for that one piece of advice they need. And of course, I try my best to help, and I really do mean it when I make these videos, but my videos won't help you if you don't actually go out there and make entertaining content real humans will enjoy watching. These videos that I make are just ideas that have worked for me or others, sharing experiences, giving inspiration. But again, unless you make something, they don't help. It's like going on a cheese tasting and being lactose intolerant. So what is this mistake? Well, it's stop taking shortcuts. It'll just hold you back. Okay, next mistake. You probably watch a lot of creators and you really enjoy their content. So you end up being inspired by them and you want to make content like them. And that is completely okay. When I was 14, I watched so many British vloggers, my thoughts started having a British accent. That's an embarrassing secret that I've never told anyone. So just keep that between me and you, okay? But the problem with this as a creator is you still need to be yourself. You need to bring your own unique personality to the content. I always say, why would someone want to watch me try to be a worse version of Point Crow or AlphaRad when they can just go watch those creators who are better and more experienced at content creation? Finding my own unique voice has actually been something I've struggled with both on my side channel, my stream, and on this channel as well, because it's scary to put yourself out there on the internet. But I find whenever I do put myself out there, my streams and videos always perform better. And that's what this mistake is. Not being authentic to who you are, not letting yourself shine. The reason it's important is because I think viewers can really tell if you're being authentic. And also, in my case, I think people really didn't like it when I put a British accent on. Moving on, let me walk you through a really common situation I see with new creators who are just starting off. Brand new creators will often hit go live or upload for the very first time, and they get a handful of viewers, but not a huge amount. And it's really easy to feel disheartened when you don't get a huge number of viewers when you start putting things out there that you cared about. And most of the time when that happens, those new creators, they give up, they quit. The mistake they made was that they started creating with the motivation to get lots of viewers. I really think content creation, whether it's streaming or making videos, really needs a separate intrinsic motivation. You have to love making people laugh, love the process of just creating. Maybe you really like the feeling of learning new editing tricks. I don't know what specifically that is for you, but it has to be separate from the views, because at the end of the day, while you sort of control how many views you get, you also really don't. If you go through a few uploads or streams and you get really low views compared to what you normally get, it can really mess with your head. But if you upload 4 videos and they get no views, but you feel great because your entire goal was just to learn new skills with each video, it's a lot easier to keep going. And if you don't quit after 4 streams, it raises the chances you'll actually grow. Because, you didn't quit. You can't grow if you quit. Speaking of having a rough time, when I started streaming 3 years ago now, I couldn't find a community I felt welcomed and comfortable in. I'd join them and ask a few questions, and most of the people replied sarcastically, they'd outright insult me, or would just ask for follow. So hey, I made one myself. If you're looking to meet other creators to share experiences with and learn from, then I should really tell you guys about our Discord. I don't mention it enough, which is another mistake, I guess. But we do. We have a Discord of about 60 to 70,000 small streamers and creators with a dozen or so volunteers who are all experts in their own fields, or at least have been successful full-time creators for a few years. The Discord is free, we don't have any self-promo, no spammy links, and most certainly 0 ads. Just creators trying to lift each other up. Oh, and it has about $5,000 worth of free overlays, transitions, graphics, resources, and more that I've either made or had made for you guys and then just released entirely for free. So check it out, link in the description, and if it's not for you, you can just leave right after. Back on topic, and we have to talk about this comment criticizing large creators for making what they call low quality or low effort content compared to them. These are incredibly common, but to cover this properly, I have to tell you about my recent uploads. A few months ago, a video I posted on my other channel, which at the time only had 3,000 to 4,000 subs, got a whopping 225,000 views. It was amazing. I was so happy, so I posted another video, and that one got a whopping 1,000 views. It's okay, I can try again, next one will do better. I'll hit 100k next one. No, it actually did far worse. Did this suck? No, because I didn't actually expect those videos to blow up. I didn't think I was owed views. I know that channel is still really young. I only started taking it seriously in November, and since then I've only made 10 videos myself. I know it will take a long time for me to be worthy of consistent success, especially when I'm not even providing consistent quality yet. Maybe there are other creators out there with millions of views who put in less effort per video than I do. But you know what? They've probably uploaded hundreds of videos. They put the time in, they practiced, they learned. I haven't done that over there yet. The mistake I'm talking about here is being expectant. If you go into anything with the expectation you're owed success, you're going to struggle, and that's gonna suck for you guys. The next mistake is really closely connected to how my videos following that big success failed. If you're a streamer or a creator in general, as you grow, you'll likely have an audience that watches you for a specific reason, for a certain type of content. And if you start throwing curveballs at them left and right, they're not going to enjoy it. Mainly because you're throwing balls at them, which hurts, but also because it's not what you usually throw. I've built an audience mostly on Pokemon because I love Pokemon, but I wanted to try something new, so I made a Mario Party video. Am I glad I made it? Absolutely, it was a lot of fun. Was it what my audience expected? God no, it did terribly. It's fine to experiment, but just remember the mistake is if you don't take time to think about who those subscribers actually are, what they subscribed for, where you built them from, then you're not going to keep them coming back every time you go live or post. But what about when you know your audience really well? I am pretty confident on who enjoys my content, but that leads me to another bad situation, and it's really common. Say you have an idea, it sounds really cool, so you go and you do it right away. But because you rushed it, it didn't end up the way you wanted it. Or maybe you go tell all your friends about this amazing idea you've had. They say, hey, that's an amazing idea. And you get hit with a massive wave of satisfaction. And that satisfaction means you never actually have to make the thing. After all, why should you when you got all the gratification of just being told it would be awesome? Both of these are really detrimental for their own reasons, but the one I see most common is rushing out an idea that hasn't been fleshed out yet. At the end of the day, a bad idea with great production quality will always do worse than an amazing idea with bad production quality. That's why I think every creator should lock off time weekly to really work on their ideas. That's what I think really takes a creator from just another person making bland, forgettable content and turns them into someone like DougDoug, who every stream and video makes something so fresh, unique, and unlike anyone else out there. If people watch your stream or video and they walk away feeling they enjoyed it, want more of it, or just generally you made an impression on them, then that is a massive win that most creators never achieve. For me, I find ideas are better when I confine myself to my box, a topic or a niche. Because when you're trapped like that, say in Pokemon as a topic, you're forced to adapt and find interesting ways to play the game, like catching 251 pigs and randomly trading them. That's actually why I decided to niche down to a topic or game series I love, because I was paralyzed by all the other ideas and options before. There were so many choices I couldn't create, but that box made me focused, creative, and excited. So spend more time on your ideas. Don't rush them out just because you can. Kind of flesh them out and see if you can make them the best they possibly can. All right, we are up to the final piece of advice, and I won't go too in depth because it's honestly really simple, but incredibly detrimental to your own growth. If you're ever working on something and you say, good enough, I'll just go live, then you're probably not gonna get great results. I'm not saying you have to spend every waking second making something perfect or never release things until you've done everything you can. But if you're making a thumbnail, editing on a timeline, coming up with a stream title, and you can see it isn't right and you know it needs to be better, you've got to push to make it better. This industry is so oversaturated now, we can't overturn a stone without finding a dozen new creators starting channels. Not to mention there are so many successful creators making amazing quality content to choose from. You have to convince people to take a chance on you as a small creator, and you do that by saying, this isn't good enough. I know I can be better. And then making it better every chance you get. Every time I have ever said, good enough, I've ended up wasting all of the hours of work I did leading up to that moment, and I regret it every time. Honestly, why do we do this to ourselves? We spend hours creating an amazing piece of content only to stumble at the end because we said, good enough. This is a mistake that I make constantly, and I am trying to be better from it. But hey, if you want to learn from some other mistakes I've made, click this video right here, because I asked a dozen Twitch partners who've all had over 100 viewers what mistakes they've made and how to avoid them. See you next week. Bye.